What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Fireside Rangers. I'm your host, Eric Wilson, today joined by my co-host, Colin Alcaves. It's been a minute, been a little busy, but we're back. Here we're going to talk about Jonathan Quick. What a season he's had. You know, he played pretty well last season for the Rangers. We extended him one more year, and here we are. He's got like the best stats in the entire league. Just had back-to-back shutouts. He shut out the Red Wings. He shut out the Seattle Kraken last night, or I guess 2 nights ago by the time this is uploaded. So we're going to talk about his season, what could potentially happen in the future. You know, he is an upcoming free agent, so we'll dive into that discussion a little bit. But before we do, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell to miss notification, leave your thoughts on Quick season down in that comment section below. And I know, I'm sorry we haven't been uploading as much because we've been so busy, but I promise you, over on the socials, this isn't even like a plug, we are averaging like 2 or 3 posts a day. So if you want more Fireside content daily, that's probably your best spot for right now. But we're gonna get back into the YouTube grind now that we're a little bit more free. But be sure to follow us over there at Fireside Rangers. And yeah, Colin, I love the turtleneck, my man. How you doing today?
I'm good. Feeling even better after watching Quick put together another vintage performance. I know we were literally just talking about it before the recording started. I did not know that he has a .911 save percentage, which is phenomenal for his career. 785 games to have that is just absolutely gross. This season he's rocking a 970, which is even more unfathomable, with a .91 goals against average. You can't even speak on how well he's playing because there aren't words to describe how well that is. It's literally unfathomable how much he's turned back the clock. I know we really sang his praises last year, but he's come out the gate that much stronger this year. It's just absurd what he's doing on a nightly basis against. Last night, pretty good team. Kraken on a 4-game win streak coming into last night, playing at home, which is always tough to go on the road and get a win. I know the Rangers have been pretty good at it this season. I believe they have a 6-1 record on the road, but to go into that stadium and get a win and stop a team that was hot as of the last 4, beating some solid teams in that mix, it's impressive. It's impressive to see how he does it night in and night out. I just don't get it.
Well, if you remember last season, Quick also started off really hot. I forget the exact number, but he started like 8 or 9 games before he took his first loss. And already this season, he's off to a 4-0 start. So we'll see how long Jonathan Quick can remain undefeated. But like you mentioned, I want to bring up that number again, the .91 goals against average. That's insane. He's averaging less than 1 goal allowed per game. Obviously, in his 4 starts, 2 of them have been shutouts. And the 2 games where he has allowed a goal, he's only allowed like 1 or 2. It's been absolutely insane. And the craziest thing is he's doing this at 38 years old. There's a quote that we posted on the socials from Zach Jones where he says, he's like, I can't see many other goalies in the league moving the way that he moves. And he's doing this at 38 years old. I mean, look back to 2 seasons ago when he started the season in LA, got traded to Vegas, was kind of underutilized there, made a very, very brief stop in Columbus, Ohio for a little bit there. Like that season, everyone I remember thinking that Jonathan Quick's career was pretty much over. His numbers were down. He was getting hurt. He wasn't getting playing time. Honestly, if I were him, I probably would have just retired there. But it's a good thing I'm not him. And then he decided to take a contract for the Rangers because his career has been pretty much revitalized. And it's been brought back to prime Jonathan Quick. I know the stat was that Jonathan Quick now has back-to-back shutouts. The last time Jonathan Quick had more than 1 shutout in a row was all the way back in 2011. And when he was only 25, we're talking like 13 years later, he's finally doing this again.
Absurd. It's just crazy. And he's doing it with, in my opinion, what is still a shaky defense. They're definitely not giving him all the help that he deserves. But I think that the biggest thing for him has just been not being a full-time starter. I think he's a very good platoon guy. I think that he works in a tandem much better than he works as a starter. I don't think he could go back to doing the 40 to 60 games a season like he was doing when he started to kind of fall off towards the end. I think that's just a lot, especially 38. That's a lot on my body at 24. So for him to do it at 38, like I can only imagine, how difficult that would be. But I think that he's perfect for a guy who you can give like 30 starts reliably, maybe even I'd go as far as say 35 and he'll look solid in all those and give you good performances. I just don't think he can go without the rest in between, which is why I think he's succeeding so far and kind of turning back the clock and putting up some vintage performances like we would see in his heyday, where he's putting up back-to-back shutouts since the first time in over a decade. I mean, the last time he did that, he had a .929 save percentage. That's insane. Like that was probably the year I think he won the Vezina.
Yeah, 2011. It might have been. I know that stat back in 2011 where he had the string of shutouts. He had three. He had 3 straight shutouts for the Kings that year. And he's got 2 for us so far. I don't know when the next time we're going to get to see him play is, but hopefully he's able to keep it up. It's 128 straight minutes he's played this season without allowing a goal. So we'll see how long he's able to keep that little streak going there.
Silly thing. I said it was quick, but actually Lundqvist won that year. And
I was thinking as soon as I saw you smile, I was like, oh, it was definitely Hank, right? All right, we're foolish. I guess Hank was just that much better.
Dude, Hank's numbers must have been gross. I don't know them off the top of my head, but to beat a guy with 35 wins and a .929 save percentage and a .195 goals against average and 10 shutouts.
Pull up the Hank stats. Pull up the Hank stats because it had to have been something crazy. Jonathan Quick was definitely a finalist that year. If they did finalists back then, they might have just announced it. I don't even know.
I can't even see. Let me see.
That was like I started watching in 2012, so I have an excuse.
It's not even. I can't even find the stats for this season. I gotta look it up again. I'm on the wrong website, but yeah, no, I mean, you just can't. Like I said, there's no words to describe how he's been playing. You love to see this from Quick, especially because Igor has had a couple shaky starts, so you love to see that you can rely on your backup still. And he is also just as good. There's no drop off whatsoever. Like other teams, there is like a little bit of a step back, and it's very clear when the backups in that they're not gonna they don't have as much of a chance to win. But I feel just as comfortable with Quick in net as I did with Shesty in net at times. Let's see, I have it now. Yeah, he had a .923 with 11 shutouts and 36 wins. Okay, so that makes sense. Hank definitely had a little bit of a better season.
A little bit of an edge there.
So, Hank, man, I'm looking back at his stats now. I gotta go off on a tangent. He's so good.
No more. We can't reminisce, man. It'll make me sad. But yeah, I mean, Jonathan Quick, absolutely incredible start to the season. We'll have to see how the rest of the year goes. Obviously, like we longtime fans will know, the Fireside jinx is real. As soon as we start liking somebody, they'll start to play bad. And as soon as we start hating on somebody, they'll start to play good. So we'll see how it goes. But fingers crossed, knock on wood, all the good stuff. But the last part of the video that I do want to discuss, a little bit of a discussion, is the fact that Jonathan Quick is going to be a free agent after this season. We only extended him 1 year, which is this year. We have a lot of upcoming free agents to sign. Obviously, the Lafreniere deal is already done, but Keandre Miller, whether he's here or not by the end of this season, let's just say for the sake of the discussion, he is here by summer. We'll maybe have to sign him. Shesterkin is obviously the big name that has to be re-signed. And then do we throw Jonathan Quick in there? Because I love him. He's playing really good. Again, he's 38. So to me, as much as I love him, the only thing that I would probably consider is just another 1-year deal and just keep handing him out these 1-year contracts as long as he's ready to take them. I don't even know if he wants to keep playing. Maybe he's just going to retire on a high note after this season. No clue. I know there was a little bit of some retirement speculation after last season until we got this 1-year deal done. So I don't know. The way I see it is he's playing good. He's cheap. And he's a leader in the locker room. And that same Zach Jones quote that I referenced earlier, Zach Jones called him one of the backbones of the team. So he's a veteran. The players look up to him. He lives with Matt Rempe. So he's obviously a guy that gets along with the organization. So I'm all for keeping him around. I say until that age becomes an actual factor where stats start to go back down, keep handing this man 1-year deals. Don't think about handing him 2 or 3. Keep doing the cheap 1-year deals and don't even worry about it because he's playing good. And I don't see that stopping anytime soon. But I'm not sure how you feel.
I'll say I kind of am thinking the same. I think a lot of this for him is like the Rangers are just a convenient team for him. He's from Connecticut. So, if he has any family there, it's not that far off. It's just a ferry ride away, at least from Long Island. But like, it's not that far from New York. I think he came here because he wanted to be a competitor still. And I think that this team gives him a chance to win. And I do think that he wants to be here more than he wants to be anywhere else. I don't think that he'd look to uproot his life one more time and go anywhere else. I think that it's just going to be 1-year deals going forward. Not because I think that he wouldn't want a 2-year deal. I just don't think that I think he'll continue to play as long as his body will let him. I think he's playing at a high level. He's still chasing a lot of milestones because he's up there in the upper echelon of goalies where he's chasing wins on the all-time win list, and he's chasing shutouts on the all-time shutout list and things like that. So there's still a lot of milestones that he's that are within grasp. And there's been no drop off, as I mentioned before, and as you said, and as we've all kind of seen, he's still making spectacular saves, like absolutely jaw-dropping saves. So as long as all that's going well and his body can still handle it and he's not having any lingering injuries or anything like that, I think they'll keep giving him deals as long as he'll keep asking for them. And I think they'll just keep agreeing on 1-year cheap deals. He's gotten his bag. He's gotten his cups. Now he's looking to add one more to the cabinet. And I think that if you're looking at teams, that are looking for a situation that would fit him perfectly, I think that we're the one. And as I said, he wouldn't want to uproot his life again. He is living with Rempe and his kids love him. And they do seem to really enjoy being in New York. So I think as long as he's willing to play, they will just keep doing the 1-year deals until he finally decides to hang them up, whenever that is. Hopefully, not anytime soon, because like I said, he's still playing very well. And he looks like he's having fun out there. So, I mean, he hasn't really given any inclination. I know he's getting a little bit older, and maybe the travel is hard with young kids. I can only imagine. I think that would be the only thing that would stop him from playing, barring any big injury, which isn't going to happen because the man is made of steel. He's an Iron Man. So, like I said, I think he'll be here as long as he wants to be here until he decides to hang him up. So I don't think we have to worry about him going anywhere. He's already on a really team-friendly deal. And I think that if he wants to play another season, he will gladly sign another contract just like that. And Drury will be stupid not to offer him one.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Drury has made some stupid decisions in the past, though. So we'll have to wait and see. Just looking at the Rangers schedule coming up, we don't know when Quick's next start is going to be. But next up, I guess tonight, I should say, the Rangers will play the Vancouver Canucks. I'm going to have to assume that Shesterkin's going to get that one. Then after that, they played the Flames, another above 500 team. It's the West Coast road trip. Then the Oilers. I think it might be a couple games before we do see Jonathan Quick again. Maybe November 25th against the Blues, if I had to guess. But who knows? Jonathan Quick is so good. Maybe the Rangers feel comfortable letting him get 2 out of the 4 starts that I just said. Who knows? I'm not Peter Laviolette, but
I wouldn't that at all. Like I said, feel comfortable starting him against anybody. I know that we'll see him, or I'd imagine that we'll see him at least the last weekend here in November, the day after Thanksgiving, and that Saturday we have a back-to-back. So I imagine it's a home and away. It's a lot of travel and a lot of nuances there. So I'm sure that we'll see him there, and hopefully, they'll sprinkle one in between here. Just because, like I said, he is playing so well that I would start him against anybody. I'm not picking and choosing my starts for him. I feel comfortable to just kind of let him go.
Yeah, I want to see how long he can keep this streak going. It's can he break the record, or his personal record, I should say? Can he get 3 shutouts in a row? I guess time will tell. But
Sam Rosen doesn't mention it in the broadcast because every time he does, it's like the kiss of death.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I guess that about wraps up our discussion about Jonathan Quick. What an incredible start to the season, and I'm very happy that we're having this conversation and not something negative. The Rangers are back in the win column for the time being. So that about wraps up today's episode of Fireside Rangers. We'll be back soon with some more Rangers content, but until then, make sure you guys like, subscribe, ring that bell to miss notification. Like I said, we got daily content over on the socials. So follow us at Fireside Rangers on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff if you want to see some more. And lastly, be sure to drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. We're curious to know, how long do you want to see Jonathan Quick remain a Ranger? But see you all in the next one. Have a good one. And let's go Rangers.